Hi guys, so today is a bit of a special video because I usually don't film on Saturday or post on Saturday, but seeing as it's October 6th, Khabib versus McGregor, I'm going to give you my little analysis on what I think are going to be the key bits going into the fight tonight. So let's get into the video. So guys, I'm going to give a couple of bits I see on McGregor's side that I think are going to help him, and a couple of sides on Khabib's side are going to help him, and then I'm going to give my prediction at the very end of the video. So McGregor, right? Now, I watched Inside the Octagon, which is a great analysis by John Goodman and Dan Hardy, and one thing that really stuck out to me in that analysis that Dan Hardy pointed out was in the Eddie Alvarez fight. This is the fight where Conor won a second belt and became the 2-weight world champion. So what he did is, so if you look here, right, what he did is he hyperextended without moving his feet, jab, crossed. So he basically showed Eddie, this is right in front of Eddie's face, basically showing Eddie, this is as far as I'm able to hit, so this is the length of my reach. Eddie then threw a cross, or a jab, I'm not 100% sure, and grazed Conor's nose. This is, as soon as Eddie threw this, Conor stepped in, closing that distance, 1-2, dropped him. Because Eddie didn't realise how close Conor could get, because Conor again had built up that wall. If you want to get this in more detail, I'll go look up Inside the Octagon, and it'll be the newest one up. I thought this was a really cool thing, because Conor is such a master reach. The fact that he knew, by building that wall, and then when Eddie threw, he knew exactly that he wasn't going to be able to hit him, and literally the punch just grazed his nose. This is something that takes years and years of practice to master. Another thing that I think is going to be important is what Conor does. So Conor's southpaw, right? And you'd always see he'll have his front hand out, right? And by having his front hand out, he's either touching the head or touching the shoulder of his opponent. So by touching the shoulder, especially for wrestlers, he knows whether he can feel whether they're going to go down for a takedown, or they're going to leap forward for a shot to hit him or strike him, right? So you'll see with Eddie, he'll have it, and if Eddie goes, or Chad Mendes, same thing, if they go for a takedown, he gets out of there, so he moves his legs back, make sure he's not there, which makes him feel like they can never get a hold of him. Or if you feel they're going to go for a strike, Conor's a counter striker. We all saw what happened in Josie Aldo fight. Takes a step back, bang, left hand. Yeah, I think those two things are going to be really important. And I think the third thing is Conor's ground game is really underestimated. He brought Dylan Dennis in about 2 years ago. I think it was around the Aldo fight, or it would have been before the first Nate Diaz fight anyway. He brought Dylan Dennis in. Dylan Dennis, if you don't know, is one of the youngest black belts in the world, one of the most high-level jiu-jitsu players in the world. He's now a Bellator fighter with a 1-0 record. But he trains with him very, very regularly, which is a good thing, because it means that his jiu-jitsu game is very strong, and Dylan Dennis speaks very highly. Also, Eddie Bravo, who's got no ties to McGregor's camp, also speaks very highly of McGregor's ground game, which is good considering that he's got no ties to either side of the camp. So he's an unbiased opinion of McGregor's ground game. So yeah, that's my analysis on McGregor, and now I'm going to move on to Khabib. Okay, so I know the fact that I'm from Ireland, and people are going to think, oh, you're just going to go for McGregor because you're from Ireland. Not necessarily true. I understand. I don't even have the fight IQ knowledge for either of these fighters, but especially for Khabib, I don't have the fight IQ to actually recognise how good of a fighter he is. But I listen to many more people to talk about this, and they just think he's an absolute genius on the ground, especially for his takedowns and stuff. I know in the open workouts he gave a bit of basically a technique talk on, not even a talk, he just showed his array of takedowns and takedowns from wrestling and judo, which is very, very impressive. But Khabib's been doing Sambo, which is a mixture of wrestling and striking since he was no age. I think most people have seen the clip of him wrestling at Bear as a young child. I just have a cool clip. I don't think there's really much in this fight, but still, the fact that he was wrestling bears at, he was under 10 years old anyway, doing that, is scary. He has been wrestling for a very, very long time. And I think the culture that he's been brought up in really is underestimated as well. The fact that, like, he grew up in a very rough, he had a very rough upbringing. Very similar to the likes of the Diaz brothers. The Diaz brothers had to fight to make money so that they could actually feed themselves. So we're looking at a very different mindset where McGregor, yes, he grew up in a bit of a tough area, but nowhere compared to Dagestan. Now, Khabib's ground and pound is probably one of the best has ever been seen in the UFC. If you see the way he traps arms, gets people in very vulnerable positions, and beats them, like just hurts them. Like, it's the definition of violence. Because even if you look at the Edson Barboza fight or the Michael Johnson fight, he pins them up and beats them up, and then as he's doing it, he tells Dana White what fight he wants next. Like, this man is scary. He's 26-0 for a reason. He's beaten up on so many people. Now, I know there's the argument that some of his records slightly padded, but still he has wins over Michael Johnson, like I said, Edson Barboza, Rafael dos Anjos, former UFC lightweight champion. I don't fully agree that he deserves to be champion. I think Ala Quinta, obviously top 15 fighter, but still not really good enough to be fighting for a world championship. I understand there was like weird circumstances going into that with the whole Tony Ferguson thing and then Max Holloway, and then he did fight and they got it. But I think this is going to be a really good test because Conor never lost his belt. Khabib has a belt, but Tony Ferguson has a belt as well, and that's a whole other story. I think that it's going to be a real like throwback to the old UFCs where it's wrestler versus striker. I know that's really simplifying things, and I understand that Conor's ground game and Khabib's got a striking game, but Khabib's striking game is actually not. I think Conor's ground game is better than Khabib's striking game, because if you look at the way he strikes, he runs forward, chin out. Number one thing not to do. Chin out, hands down. Now, he does throw very weird strikes, and again, if you look watch the inside the octagon, Dan Hardy goes into that in detail. And again, the fight always starts on the feet. So Khabib has to close that distance. That's where the danger is. Yeah, that's my little breakdown. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other questions, leave them down in the comments or DM me on Instagram, Darren_Jordan, or on Snapchat, or on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook. All will be linked down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the fight tonight, or if you're watching them tonight, or taping them, watching them in the morning. But yeah, have a good day, and we'll see you on Monday. Good night, live.